It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Country music's got mamas and daddies. We got bar rooms and no heartbreak songs. But I'm here today to stand up and say how I feel about my home sweet home. What's left, what's right, and what's wrong. And I'm taking my country back. Son, you ain't been doing her right. Oh, I've been watching you and I don't like how you've been treating my stars and stripes. You took our jobs and
we're going to take our country back. Well, Paul Antinori's got an idea how to do it. You know, that was a really popular song about in 05, 06 during the Bush administration. And that was the honky-tonk Nashville crowd wanted to make sure that they let them know that they're, you know, not all country's Republican, you know. Right. So, and it all applies. I'll play the whole song sometimes. It's been a long time since I played that. But it made me think of it. And, you know, I was talking to you, Paul. So I'm going, Paul, Paul's an attorney that been practicing for over 50 years at federal and state level, and he's, you know, gone through all the levels of and some politics and this and that. And bottom line, he knows where the Constitution has allowed. Well, it's not even the Constitution, because all of these in the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers, as they're having the argument back and forth, the Federalist papers made it clear, no, this line, this word, this punctuation means this. But the judicial branch and the Supreme Court, they don't flippin' care.
No.
Now what? So you're going to change it and you're going to say, this word means this in the Constitution. Let me tell you what I know. Here I go. I know they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Now
That's
what?
Correct, Ernest. You're right.
So now what?
That's why we've got to have a convention. That's why we've got to have a curative clarifying amendment. You notice that my proposal, which I call a modest proposal to amend the U.S. Constitution, does not suggest that we're going to restructure the architecture, the design of American government. What we're going to do is restore, refurbish, reinvigorate the original design of the American government.
Okay, Paul, I know what the argument is about what you want to do and what you'd like to do and what they made provisions for you to be able to do. And I'm saying, one, it doesn't matter what you do. They don't care what it says anyway. And two, tell me how, once you open up this convention, it's not going to bring in, heck, the entire, you know, Constitution for New States of America, Ford Foundation, Nelson Rockefeller crap. You know, tell me how that's not going to become this.
All right, first thing we have to say is this. You have nothing to fear but fear itself. I mean, I'm borrowing the words of the man after the Pearl Harbor attack. So there is nothing to be afraid of. I know those fears have been expressed, but they're more imaginative than real.
It happened.
No, it will not happen.
It already happened.
Well, don't use the original Constitutional Convention 1787 because the Articles of Confederation was nothing to be proud of. No one liked it. It was not a cherished situation. It was one of these spur-of-the-moment things that had to be done before right after the American Revolution just to get things going. It was terrible. It almost created an immediate civil war among the states immediately after the Revolutionary War. So the Articles of Confederation were terrible.
Okay, wait. We got the Articles of Confederation had a condition in there that says thou shalt not change it except by unanimous or 9 of whatever, and you had all these rules about what you could and couldn't do, and they ignored that too.
Well, thank God they did. Thank God they did, because we wouldn't have our great U.S. Constitution.
Oh, are we going to, 75 years from now, I'm going to have somebody else, one of my children are going to be doing the radio and have another guy like you saying, well, thank goodness they threw that Constitution out, with bathwater because, gosh darn it, we wouldn't have this other, livestock ruling thing.
Ernest, we're comparing apples and oranges here. Let's start out with our U.S. Constitution. Let's not go to the Articles of Confederation. We've got a U.S. Constitution. That's what we.
No, you got
that is
it.
The United States of America that defines us since 1791.
Defines you. Don't put me in on this thing. I didn't sign it.
Okay, well,
all right.
I am a citizen of the United States, and I swear to uphold and defend and go to war and fight to the death to defend our U.S. Constitution.
Okay, Paul, let me go ahead and make this one statement so you understand where I'm at. You're going through these checkpoints. We're in Arizona here, so you're driving the highway, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a checkpoint out in the middle of the freaking desert, 80 miles from the border, and you go in, okay, fine. You pull in there, and they go, are you a U.S. citizen? And I'm like, by what? I said, before I even, capitulate, that one, they want you to say it, because here, kiss the ring is what it is. And then it means something, puts me under some jurisdiction, does something. So I just, I started saying, I go, I was born in a hospital in Florida. Now, you tell me what that means. I was born in a hospital in Florida. Well, are you a U.S.? I don't know. I was born in a hospital in Florida. Okay, fine, go. So I'm just, why do I got to declare that?
You're talking about the Arizona Senate Bill 1070?
No. I'm talking about checkpoints on the highway system here from the Homeland Security.
Well, I'm not. Are you talking about Arizona or something up in New Hampshire?
No, it's in Arizona, but you can, it's, they're all over. Texas, New Mexico, California. You drive on the highway in the Southwest, man, you're coming across somebody who wants to, do the anal probe. So I'm just going, and
like
this
a stop and demand identification, because
absolutely.
What I'm talking, I have a whole section in my book. I think it's page 54 of my book, A Modest Proposal to Amend the U.S. Constitution. Anyway, I have a whole section on the Arizona immigration law, Senate Bill 1070. I devote several pages. In my opinion, the law is perfectly constitutional, and when it does reach the Supreme Court's going to uphold it. And I abhor the fact that Eric Holder, the Attorney General, with Obama's blessing, did bring a lawsuit against the state of Arizona, Governor Janet Brewer and whatever, to try to invalidate the Arizona immigration law. A federal judge in Arizona struck the law down, said it was unconstitutional because it violated the supremacy clause of Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution. It does not. She is wrong, and I think the Supreme Court will reverse her. The Arizona immigration law, which I think has reasonable safeguards built into it. First of all, you have to have reasonable suspicion that a border crosser is an illegal immigrant. And the police simply are empowered to ask for identification.
Oh, you're killing me, man. The reasonable suspicion is whatever the heck they said. Let me tell you what your reasonable suspicion is when you go before a judge. He asked. I mean, that's all they need. They go the police, version of.
Well, let me borrow on my old experience as a criminal defense attorney. All right?
And I'm right.
No. Actually, you have to understand something. Police, I'm talking in general now, have the right to conduct a search without a warrant, as you may well know, even of your home, if there is reasonable grounds to believe that a crime is being committed. Now,
and who decides whether it was reasonable? The cop and the judge.
Well,
I rest my case.
Ultimately, the magistrate has to review the facts and say, were there reasonable grounds for this search?
Okay, what's another word for magistrate?
Here's the point that I need to make. With regard to an automobile, because the Arizona situation involves mostly stopping automobiles and asking the occupants to show their identification that they're U.S. citizens or legal aliens. An automobile presents an exceptional situation. Less reasonable grounds are needed per the Supreme Court.
Of course there are. Well, we'll talk about it more. We're starting to have some fun here, but we want to get back to this Constitutional Convention thing. How is this going to get better? Paul's got an idea. I want to hear it. So do you. We'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence of me, Ernest Hancock, Phoenix, Arizona, just a little bit.